Well, as you just heard, this August is already proving to be wetter than normal, and as we mentioned a moment ago, last year we experienced the wettest August on record with 30 inches of rain coming in a 3-day period.
This came during the prime time for harvest for farmers in Louisiana. As TWILA's Karl Wiggers shows us, from harvest to harvest, timing is everything.
Following the rains last August, this field was full of damaged corn laid flat in these floodwaters. West Baton Rouge farmer Donald Schexnayder has again had a wet year, but he hasn't seen nearly the damage that he did last year.
The yields have been great this year so far. We're trying to finish up. We're on our last field right now. Weather conditions all year has been good. A lot of moisture, as you realize. We're over our annual yearly rainfall already.
That rainfall has not let up as the combines have moved into the fields, and as you can see here, that's not making harvest very easy.
Right now, we're having one of the wettest harvests we've had, a corn harvest ever. We're trying to get it out as tractors are having a tough time, so it's rutting it up. So there'll be a lot of tillage work in the fall, it looks like.
Even with the mess, Schexnayder remembers last year and what this field could look like.
With our weather events we've been having, the rain almost every day, we hadn't had strong winds with it to lay much of it down, so we're kind of lucky on the most part. You know, even though it's a mess out there looking like, we're lucky it could be a lot worse.
As you can see, he does have some corn laid down, but not nearly like last year. That corn could be laid over in water that covered fields across the south, like these soybeans here. This was the scene on Clayton Hurdle's farm a year ago. Hurdle wasn't the only one with this much water on their beans. Charles Canatella, a farmer in St. Landry Parish, experienced the same thing on his farm.
Vince and I lost about, well, we had about 450 acres flooded. It ranged from 4 inches on the stalk to over the top of the stalks.
After seeing that last August, the constant rains this year have had Charles nervous about harvesting his soybeans.
Sunday morning, it rained and rained all last week, and we were due to cut these beans last week, so this is the first chance we get after them. And it's still wet. I mean, the ground's soft. Beans are dry, but the ground's soft, so we'll have to do some extra work to get these cane rows back in shape to plant cane.
Even with the rain, Canatella and Schexnayder have both been impressed with the crops that they have harvested so far.
You know, for the amount of rain this year, we are lucky. Everybody's doing good.
Yields look pretty good. These beans were planted last of March, and they're about a week late from harvest, but I don't see any damage in them, so we're pretty lucky.
It may be our best corn crop ever. It depends on how this field cuts, because it's close. It's going to be in the top 3 corn crops already, yeah.
After last year's flooding, Charles and Vincent Canatella added sugarcane into their crop rotation in St. Landry Parish. Charles says that adding some diversity into their fields is a big plus to moving into the sugar industry.
Well, we thought cane would diversify us. We've lost bean crops before the hurricanes, and you know, 50% loss in quality and yield you lose. So with cane, I think it's more of a stable crop. Prices don't vary that much, and it would take a pretty good hurricane this far north to totally disaster it where you couldn't harvest. But the grain prices where they are, if you get a weather event and you lose some yield, it's hard to make ends meet. So we thought we would try some cane, and you know, we had a mill that access to get in, so that, you know, you have to have a place to grind it. So with a mill looking for acres, that helped.
The timing has certainly been good so far for both of these farmers. As for the Canatellas, we'll take a closer look into their first sugar crop when their cane makes its way to the mill later on this year. And you guys, it was a very good day to be out there. The clouds threatened. I drove through a couple of showers getting there, but it was really nice to actually be there while they could get some of their beans out of the field. I know that's something that you and Landon can appreciate back home.
I know they've got some beans that are ready. I'm praying for some dry weather because it's like it just keeps coming. And so I hope they have as good a luck as they did.
Yeah, me too. And I haven't actually talked to Charles and Vincent, but I know there was some more clouds threatening, and they were moving on to some more fields after I left. So I'm hoping that they were able to get the rest of their beans that were ready out of the field.
Well, what I liked, those drone shots, man, those were incredible. I love it. I'm looking forward to whenever you go out, and you said you want to hit all the crops this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what Milo looks like from a drone.
That's on the list of things to do in the next couple of weeks as it dries out. But that's been one of my favorite parts of TWILA. We talk about TWILA harvest. I'm sure you'll mention that later on in trending, but it's one of my favorite times of year growing up on the farm. It was always the best time to be out there, and getting to see the shots from the drone from above. It's kind of, it's hard to beat a good shot of a combine riding through some good corn ready to be harvested.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
And it gives you new perspective too that you don't usually get to see.
It really is.
So great story, Karl Wiggers.
Still to come on TWILA, come with me for a walk through a beautiful garden.
And afterward, we can have a great crawfish dinner as we go feasting on agriculture. Stay with us.